Well. Welcome back again to USGoonerz for another Arsenal content. I know, man. It's been like 2 months now. Yeah, it's been a while since I last showed my face here. It's almost like I ran away, right, when things went bad. But it's kind of part of the process, you know. Arsenal's been going through his process. Arteta has been going through his process. So I decided to go through my own process. Just stay away from the spotlight and just observe everything from above. But then, I guess some kind of hope or signal, a beacon, light, I don't know. Just some kind of energy came back to the Emirates Stadium. And it spread like wildfire. All the way from North London over the seas into the United States. I felt the energy. And that energy brought me back. Brought me back to talk Arsenal. I'm not going to dive too much in the past. I'm just going to do like a quick review of the season so far. And, talk about the remaining 4 games of the season. Just to know where we are, to see where Arsenal is, my perspective on Arsenal so far. I might also do a preview on the upcoming weekend game, Arsenal versus West Ham. A lot of people believe that is the title decider. Nah, I don't buy it. It's only a title decider depending on what Man City do on Saturday. That's my opinion. But yeah, like I said, a lot has happened. We obviously had the Carabao Cup final, and we lost the Carabao Cup final. And I feel like that's where the whole thing started. The whole downfall of Arsenal. The stale food, the bad energy. The bad energy just started from that Carabao Cup final. And it started in the sense of how we approached the game. And because that was like our first final in a very long time. So one would think that we're going to start that final with a different, energy, different plan. But it was just unbelievable compared to how we know we can play. So it didn't go our way. We lost the Carabao Cup final. And we said, okay, maybe it's because it's a blip. And that stench followed us to the upcoming games. Followed us to the FA Cup. Followed us, to the Premier League. We lost out in the FA Cup, which we shouldn't have. And it all felt like the season was going to shit, But in reality, we were always 6 points behind Man City. And that was what it was going to take to get Man City in the mix. For Arsenal to lose 2 games, which felt like it was impossible. Arsenal's not going to lose 2 games, going forward. But it happened, and it happened so soon. And I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, looking right now on where we are, I kind of feel like that's a good thing that it happened. It happened at a time that it gave us enough time to make some adjustments and fix up and get back in the running. And that's what Arteta obviously did. He tweaked the midfield, brought Lewis-Skelly in, benched Zubimendi, and, he's playing Eze, and Saka comes back from injury like a brand new man. So obviously, since the Fulham game, we have been playing well. And that brought a different feeling to the Emirates, to the boys, because we could all tell that was something different compared to what we were seeing in the past. In the whole of April, actually. April was a terrible month. It all started from the Carabao Cup. And the Carabao Cup, we didn't play well. We were terrible. Man City were better than us. They won it. But then we followed it up with Bournemouth. It was a terrible display. We played Sporting Lisbon, win 1-0, but we really didn't play well. Come to the Emirates, goalless draw. We make it to the semifinals, right? Then we go play Man City. But the game plan was not to play Man City in a naive way we did in the Carabao Cup. So we said, okay, we're going to go hard. We're going to step up to Man City. We did. We played well, but we didn't win. We were unlucky, but we played well. That was a good sign. That was the positive sign, that we played well. But we knew we needed to make changes. Man City went on, played Burnley. They win 1-0. Played well, missed loads of chances, but they could have easily drawn that game. They didn't draw the game. Good for them, but we saw the cracks, right? I'm not going to go into super details on why Man City won just 1-0. But going forward, we play Newcastle. First 15 minutes, we play well, scored a goal from set piece. Then after that was just average. We managed to hang on, win the game 1-0. Cool. The next game was going to be Fulham, right? But Man City, I think they had to play the FA Cup. They were almost losing the FA Cup 1-0, right? They ended up winning 2-1. So they made it to the FA Cup final. Good for them, but we saw the cracks. Like I said, I'm not going to go into details yet why Man City were still kind of struggling. But their fans were still very confident they were going to win the league because of Arsenal's slip-up. But then, the new light came in the Fulham game. For several reasons. One, Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka comes into the team and gives us a really, really good performance. It just reminded us of the old Bukayo Saka. So Bukayo Saka had a real stellar performance. And we also saw another change, which was Lewis-Skelly. Lewis-Skelly starting in the midfield. But hold on a second. That happened in the last minutes of the Newcastle game. We play Lewis-Skelly in the midfield, not in the left back. We play him in the midfield as an 8. Arteta sees it. It's like, I know, right? Lewis-Skelly originally is a midfielder. Why don't I try him there? And it works. What does he do in the Fulham game? This was the lineup. He had USGoonerz, Saka, Trossard, Eze in the 10, Skelly in the 8, Rice in the 6. Usual back 4, we got Brian Saliba. I think we had Calafiori and Ben White. Right and goal. Right? But Lewis-Skelly was the difference. He made our midfield very fluid with his progressive passes, guiding the ball, not playing the ball side to side, winning fouls. Like, he just added that extra flexibility that I thought Zubimendi was going to do for us, or I would say was doing for us, like in the first 2 months of the season. Zubimendi was doing that, but Skelly was doing that, right? And what I've always said about Arsenal is if you're playing Zubimendi in the 8, right, doing the double pivot with Rice, cool. But Zubimendi's goal is to get the ball forward and do what Odegaard tends to drop back and do. Because we have Zubimendi playing the 6 and pivoting with Rice playing the 8. But then, let's say we have Odegaard in the 10. But then you would see Odegaard dropping deep to get the ball from the defense when we're playing out from the back to progress the ball. And we already know how Odegaard is. He's more of a recycler. He always doesn't get the ball forward. He doesn't take the risky pass because where is he? He's in the 6. How is he going to make some kind of crazy pass from the 6? If he's in the 10 role, yeah, you will likely see those, creative pass from Odegaard. But no, he's dropping back to get the ball from the build-up play and trying to progress the play. But then you notice him going left, right, recycling to Saka back or Madwake or whatever, right? But then you see someone else beside him, Zubimendi. That just creates an emptiness in the 10 role because, quote unquote, because of Zubimendi, Eze is in the bench, Odegaard is in the 10, right? And you have USGoonerz in a no man's land, running the 9 by himself. And at that time, I think Saka was injured, so you had Madueke trying. So you can see how there was just a dead zone in that 10 role because your 10 is being a 6 or being an 8, right? Going back to progress the ball. And the 6 is doing what, right? It's almost like you have one person doing, 2 people's job. You're sacrificing someone. Instead, Zubimendi was supposed to be the 6 with the creative eye as Odegaard that is supposed to progress the ball to the 10 and the 10 gets it to the 9 or Saka or Trossard or Martinelli and create chances. That's how it's supposed to flow. But Zubimendi wasn't doing that. Odegaard always comes back to do the creative pass because if you watch the Carabao Cup game, how Man City using the 4-2-4 formation, right? They don't press Raya, but they just wait to press the defenders, right? So as soon as you give the ball to the defense, they're pressing or he goes long, they're pressing, they lose the ball, right? And Raya or Gabriel or Saliba cannot do a straight pass to the 6 to progress the ball because the 6 is a left and right person. He's not the kind of person that can beat his man and progress the ball. But when Odegaard comes in and he does it, yeah, he obviously does it better than Zubimendi. But that is not Odegaard's role. We needed someone like that can progress the ball, but it's not going to be in two places at once. That is the difference of Lewis-Skelly. Lewis-Skelly is naturally a midfielder, and you can tell he's an 8, right? So bringing Lewis-Skelly in the game means someone has to drop, and you're not going to drop Declan Rice. You're not going to try that, right? So it all makes sense when you have Declan Rice playing the 6, Skelly doing the 8, double pivoting with Rice to do the progressive pass to the 10, but Odegaard is injured. Fine. Eze is there, and I prefer Eze to Odegaard for reasons you already know why, because Eze shoots before he passes, Odegaard passes before he shoots. It's just simple as that. So now you have Skelly in the 8, roaming to progress that ball forward, and Skelly has this very unique trait whereby he looks small, but he's strong. Like, he's really strong. Skelly would guide that ball and either win a foul or make a progressive pass. And I've always known Skelly to do that from the left back row, because when he's in the left back, he inverts into the midfield and does that same role. But now we're like, Skelly, no. Stay in the 8, do that there. We already have left backs that are good, right? Calafiori or Nkapie. Be in the 8, do that, and progress the ball. Lewis-Skelly was the light. Lewis-Skelly was the light. I'm like, yes. And mind you, remember before Odegaard even got injured, I think that was last year, right? Early in the season, where we had Odegaard and Eze play. That tactics could still work, but as long as you have Eze and Odegaard do the 8 role, you put Eze in the 10 and Rice in the 6. That would have worked, because Odegaard doesn't like to be in the 10 even though he's a 10. So you play him as an 8 and he does that rotation, progress to Eze. Eze either passes to USGoonerz or goes for goal. It would have worked like that, but we never really got Eze and Odegaard fit at the same time. Instead, when we had them, one was replacing the other. No. Play them together. Stop replacing. It's not Odegaard or Eze. It should be Odegaard and Eze. But yeah, we didn't get that too much because Odegaard just kept getting injured. And Eze just, became fit and started making himself a regular in the starting lineup. So trying Skelly there, and you see that is just like a revelation, because if you think about it, Odegaard would beat his man by dribbling his man. Skelly would be his man by bodying his man and also dribbling his man. So Skelly has an extra trait that Odegaard doesn't have, which is that body, that strength to hold off one or two defenders, either win a foul or get past them, right? Different abilities, but both work, right? Having Skelly there, nice. It works. Now, if you tell me, okay, Odegaard is fit, Odegaard or Skelly, who would you pick? I would start Skelly, because there is this idea that the best form of defense is attack, right? And when you attack in the first half, like you give everything you have to score goals in the first half, you could kill the game in the first half. The second half is just game management. And that is always the best approach. But Arteta was never doing it like that. Arteta always want to start by managing the game and go for a second half. But at that time, we might score one goal, then we're holding on to a goal and lose it and draw. That's been the story of our season. But yeah, if Odegaard is fit, I'll still start Skelly. Then try and score as much goals as we can in the first half. Then second half is just game management. Bring in your Zubimendi, bring in your Odegaard. Bring in your people to manage the game right. Now, like I said, Skelly in that Fulham game was a revelation. The other revelation was Bukayo Saka. Now, we all know Saka before the injury was not good. He was playing like crap, right? But that was because he was playing with injury. You could tell he was just not in form. But he was still, playing, and it was getting a lot of critics. Finally, it was like, you know what? I'm going to be out for a couple of games to fix up. He goes out, and I know Saka has this history of coming back from an injury strong. So I knew the Saka we were going to get back was not going to be the Saka that left before the injury. Saka comes back. He's back to his own self, beating his man, winning his 1v1 battles, getting his balls in, connecting with USGoonerz, crossing the ball, and then scoring his goal. I was like, bro, when last did Saka actually score a goal? Yeah. Comes back, gets a goal and assist. Like I said, Saka coming back fit was another revelation, right? Now, the third piece is Victor USGoonerz. I always said this. Victor USGoonerz is a bagsman. He knows how to score goals. His eye for goals is high. His accuracy level is high. He's a boxman, 18 boxman, right? He's like Ruud van Nistelrooy. Just wants to score his goals from inside the box. That is USGoonerz. He's a 9, a traditional 9. He's not a false 9. He doesn't drop back. He's there to do the tappings, do the running to headers, do the hold up play, make the running in the channel. That's what he is, a traditional 9, right? We all knew that. Well, not everyone. Arteta didn't know that. Arteta was trying to have him play. Arteta's never really played with the traditional 9. He's always played the false 9. So he really didn't understand or know to play to USGoonerz strength. The third revelation is we started playing to USGoonerz strength consistently. Not everything is... Haaland gets like 5, 6, 7 chances in the game and probably score 2, 3, right? No one talks about the chances Haaland miss, but they talk about the goals Haaland score. But Man City play to Haaland's strength, and that's why Haaland scores loads of goals. We weren't doing that with USGoonerz, so USGoonerz wasn't scoring goals. But now we know that part of our game plan is to play to his strength, and now he's scoring goals. He has 21 goals in all competition and 14 in the Premier League, right? He's scoring the goals now because now we're playing to his strength. So the third piece was playing to USGoonerz strength, using USGoonerz as he can. And also now USGoonerz knows that, okay, the team is playing to my strength, so USGoonerz is now making the runs at the right time. When they play the ball in, the goal kicks, he already knows the hold-up play level, goes to his man, backs up into his man, holds the ball up, and his passes to the next man, they're working. That's how him and Saka linked up, right? So that was the third piece. Now, we did all this repeatedly in the first half of the Fulham game. Before we knew it, 3-0 up. And I was like, geez, when was the last time did Arsenal score 3 goals in the first half? When was the last time we actually watched an Arsenal game and be so comfortable? That was the first time. But it was a very unique energy that we felt. We saw us playing in the front foot, playing differently, trying things that we've not normally tried. That just brought energy and life back to the Emirates, back to the boys, back to how they were playing, and we win the game comfortably 3-0. The second energy came. It was Man City going to Everton to play, right? A lot of people thought that Man City-Everton game was going to be a walk in the park. Like, yeah, Man City should score 3 goals, 4 goals, to up the goal difference. And I'm like, you're just writing Everton off, though. Anyway, let's see. They're supposed to win the match, but you never know. Football is unpredictable. I saw them winning 1-0. I was like, okay, respect them to win 1-0, but I would like it to be 1-0, because I was ready to go down the wire with Man City at this point by goal difference, counting goal difference, because we already put 3 past Fulham. That was going to help our goal difference. So that was the game plan. Bro, Man City 3, Everton 3. Wow. Once upon a time, it was 3-1 in that game. They were losing. But that alone, the fact that they were losing, or the fact that they even drew that game, just added the second boost of energy to the Emirates. Like, 1, Man City is not going to go on their win run to the end of the season. They're still Man City of this season, inconsistent. 2, the title is back to our hands, back to Arsenal's hands. Because now, instead of 2 points clear, or 5 points clear. Because now they have 71 points, we have 76 points. We do have a game in hand, though. But the beauty about it is that Everton game just told us that, okay, there's more bumps in the road that is going to come from City. We just have to make sure we don't get our bumps in the road. And the reason why we felt confident that we're not going to get our bumps in the road is because, 1, we have changed how we're playing with Skelly in the game. Everyone is fit. 2, Man City dropping points. Bro, the third boost of energy was the Champions League, man. And not just we making it to the Champions League. What really made that win so special was the fact that Arteta did not change a thing. He didn't. Arteta used the same squad. Like, looking at the whole lineup, he literally rinse, repeat. And that's it. Arteta, you just found your winning formula. Do not change a thing. Rinse, repeat. Play the same thing in your next game. That's exactly what he did. And I like that because that told me he understood, he saw it worked. Why change it when it works? So what does he do? Plays the same thing. We're on the front foot, fluid, We create our chances, we score a goal in the first half. It's not like, hey, we score a goal in the first half, let's go defend. No, we kept playing. But don't get us wrong, right? It was just one goal. But still, Atletico Madrid is not a West Ham. They're not a small team. They got killers in the game, right? They got Alvarez, they got Griezmann, they got Lookman, who were terrible, by the way, in the night. But my point is, they're still a good team with a good manager. So they're not just going to lay back and just let us, do all the attacking. So they did try to bite back, but our defensive structure stood tall. And that is another piece. Our defense is back to how it usually was. Now we've had what? Back-to-back clean sheets in the Premier League, although we did concede from a penalty, but still no goals conceded from open play. So our defense stood rock solid and we just handled that game professionally, got ourselves to the Champions League final. That was the huge boost, and that was really the perfect scenario that you were wishing for. Like, things are going bad, but you want to be in the Champions League final and also be in control of your destiny in the Premier League. That is where we are today. Like I said, we have a chance to win our first Premier League title in 22 years. Do I think we can do it? Hell yeah. We have a game on Sunday against West Ham. We have Burnley next, and then we have Crystal Palace next. I'm going to tell you a couple things about the games. 3 weeks ago, I was nervous, and if we were playing the same way we were playing 3 weeks ago, now I'll still be nervous. Because I knew how flat we were and how we might score a goal and then we just sit back and try to defend. And when we sit back and try to defend, we concede. Like, we were so bad that one of our strengths was that, hey, look, a lot of teams in the Premier League want a low block against Arsenal. So Arsenal try to poke, and if they don't have a maverick that is going to weave through like Shirky and create a goal or score a goal, right? So we were using set piece to get a goal. When we get a goal from set piece, teams come out and we just dissect them and destroy them. But down the line, we were no longer able to do that. And it all started with that Manchester United game. Now everything is making sense. It all started with that Manchester United game where we lost 3-2. Manchester United came at us and we choked. We couldn't play. We were making mistakes. And part of the person that made the mistakes for us conceding the first goal was Zubimendi. And he made more mistakes like that. And that just spread like wildfire around the team. They started doing missed passes, confidence was low. But you could see that our greatest strength turned to our greatest weakness. So now teams are like, hey, come at Arsenal and they'll make mistakes. It's like, God damn. Before, that's what we wanted. We always wanted teams to come at Arsenal so we can split them open and score goals. Teams rather low block against us and counter us. But then teams are like, hey, we're going to play against Arsenal. We're going to come at them. We're going to put the pressure and make them make mistakes and concede goals. So yeah, I just had to do a reality check. This is a reality check. A reality check is there's 3 games to go. Arsenal need to win the next 3 games to be Premier League champions. And throughout this season, the most wins we have done in a row is 5. We haven't done 6 wins in a row. We have done 5. We've done 4. And we have done 3. Now, so far, we won against Newcastle. We've won against Fulham. Now we need to win our next 3, which means we need to do 5 wins in a row to be Premier League champions. The game against West Ham is very tricky. Why? West Ham are in a relegation battle, and a couple weeks ago, they were not. It was Spurs that were in that, bottom 3. But Spurs have started doing well, and that has gotten them out of the bottom 3, just like, I think, 1 point or 2 points. Let me check. Just like 1 or 2 points ahead of West Ham. And West Ham, they're in the drop zone. Burnley and Wolves are already relegated. West Ham are fighting to not go down. So West Ham, it's not going to be an easy game. But then again, how many Premier League games are easy games? But all I know is the game at West Ham is not going to be easy. But a couple of months ago, or a couple of weeks ago in April, I would have been nervous. There's still nerves. But now I'm excited to watch Arsenal play again. Before I was nervous to watch Arsenal play. I was like, oh God, Arsenal's playing today. Damn, I'm not ready to watch us. But now I'm excited to watch Arsenal play again. Because we got Lewis-Skelly in the midfield. We got Eze in the starting 11. We have USGoonerz scoring again. We have Saka back in form. I'm excited to watch Arsenal play again. Even when Zubimendi comes in, Zubimendi is seeing Skelly. And it's like, okay, I'm getting back my fire. Let me start playing like I was playing in the beginning of the season. So I know West Ham are going to come at us with everything. It's going to be a difficult game. But I want us to use the same squad and play the same way we play and try and kill that game in the first half. We can kill that game in the first half, and second half is all game management. Like I said, they're going to throw everything at us. We're not really relegating them, but we just have to beat them. Because looking at West Ham right now, they have 36 points, and Spurs have 37 points. The Spurs are like 1 point ahead of them. I think Spurs play Leeds tomorrow. Leeds on the weekend. Spurs win that game, it'll be dark for them. It'll be dark for West Ham. But it's not the end of the season. There's 2 more games that points can still be got. Yeah, I mean, who West Ham play next? Oh, they play Newcastle next, and they play Wolves next. They play Leeds next. So they still have a chance to get some points off Leeds. Leeds are 43 points. The only person they can drag back down is Nottingham Forest. I'm sorry, West Ham. Just have to relegate you. We need this title. Now, a lot of people like to overlook certain teams. Everyone is focused on the West Ham game, but I believe we're gonna win West Ham comfortably. The game that I'm wary of is the Burnley game. The Burnley game, just feel like we should watch that one. Burnley don't have anything to play for. They're already relegated. They're playing for pride at this point, but I feel like we should watch that Burnley game. But if Arsenal keep playing the way we're playing, then yeah, I see wins. Because that's all we need to do. Keep playing the same way we're playing and win our remaining 3 games. Now, Man City, on the other hand, are the ones with the tricky fixtures. But thank God for them that their final game against Villa, it's not going to be so tricky because Villa in the Europa League final, they're going to rest a lot of their good players for that match. They're not going to care about that match. So that'll be an easy game for Man City. Us, the same thing against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are in the Conference League final, same time with Aston Villa. So they're going to rest for that game. The Crystal Palace game shouldn't be so hard, but you still have to go beat the team in front of you. So that's why I can't even afford to say, I want to drop points here. No. Go in there, play the same way you play. It's in our hands. We just need to go win our next 3 games. So yeah, this was a reality check video. 3 more games to go on the Champions League final. We're almost there. Just 3 wins and we see glory. That's all for now. Yeah, if this is your first time here, consider subscribing, like this video, hype this video, and please really subscribe, especially if you're an Arsenal fan. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.